Hey everyone! Welcome to Mimi's Chalk Creations. How are ya? Seems like ages since I've been on here. You know, my internet is bad. I've been not feeling that great, but my schedule's all messed up. I promise I am doing my best to get everything figured out. Now let me just make sure that I'm actually running here. Hang on 1 minute. Don't mind this mop. It desperately needs a haircut. Which should be on Sunday, so we'll see. Oh. Oops, we need the volume down on this one, because you don't need to hear me talking. Okay. I think we might have it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see comments because it's not running very good. On my laptop, my internet still is not down here. They this great weather, they're putting in gardens and stuff, and I get it, you know. I totally understand. But we'll get it. If you do post any questions, I will come back and answer them. So go ahead and post. It says somebody is watching. So if that's you, say hi so that I can see, one, if my comments are working. And two, I want to welcome you to the group. I got my new Magnolia tacky board. So we're going to put that right inside this pillow. And the reason you do that is, one, you want to hold your pillow in place. And you also do not want your colors to bleed through to the back. So this stops that from happening. It should fit in there. Putting in a tacky board stops it from happening. Now you got to wrestle with it a little bit, because now I'm stuck to it, that's stuck to it. I'm not gonna fold it together because you don't want it to stick together. But I need to fold it a little bit to get it through the zipper, because the zipper is smaller than the width of the pillow. Okay, and then you just take your material and you push it right down on your tacky board. Now you don't fuzz your tacky board. You leave that as tacky as you can get it. So make sure you don't fuzz that. Make sure your pillow is on there flat. Now we're going to do this home, no place I'd rather be. This is probably not the exact thing that we're thinking right now, because we're all tired of being at home. But still, home is my favorite place to be. And I got this from a friend that knew I was very much a homebody. So I want to go ahead and make it. I use stencils from all different companies. I sell Magnolia, and I use more Magnolia than anything else. I like their products best of all. But on occasion, I do see one from another company that I really like, or I get them as gifts sometimes. And, you know, I have a craft business, so I use everything. Now, the way I handle these big stencils like this, because they will fold back on themselves, but I do it like this. Oops, I got this backwards to show you what I'm doing. So I take just a little bit of it, and I fold it back, hold it with my fingers, and then place it on my pillow, and then peel it off like this. Now, that's not placed the way it's going to be by any sense of the word, but that gets it off the sheet without it folding back on itself. And then you can mess with your placement of it without having too many issues. So let me turn this around so I can see. Now I want it to be about in the center of this pillow. Now I've mentioned before, anything that I make can be special ordered in your choice of colors. I'm in the process of updating my boutique and kind of looking at other options to make it easier for you, my customers, to find the things that they are looking for. Life's just been really, really crazy lately. So now I did not fuzz this, because you never fuzz your transfer if it's going on material, because you want it to be sticky as possible. And I've run my hands over it. There's absolutely no air bubbles. Press down really good so it gets a good adherence to your material. That's very important, because if you don't, it'll bleed under and then you'll have smudges. And we're going to ink this, so we don't want any smudges. Now I'm going to use cocoa bean and green. I'm trying to read the color of it. Hunter green, because my house is in the boonies and my colors are brown, gold, orange, kind of autumnish colors. We live in a log cabin type home, so those colors go very well in my home. Oops. Now make sure you have no paste on your fingers. So I think home is going to be done in the cocoa bean. Now you have a little bit longer with paste, with the inks, than you do with our paste. It doesn't dry as quick, so you have time to mess with it and play with it. And I usually go over the ink a few times to work it right in good into my material. The material absorbs some of it as well. Now, a lot of times I don't know what that noise keeps being on my phone. I'm sorry, guys. It says something here, but I don't know what it is. Okay, we'll just keep going. So a lot of times, like I was saying, the ink will stain the stencil. That is absolutely not a problem, as long as you get all of the ink out of the screen print, which is the light area that you see here. Let me show you. This light area that you see here, that's all screen print. So when you wash your stencil, you want to make sure that it's free of dried on ink. And but if this out here stains, it doesn't change the performance at all of your stencil. Now, because I don't have my deep sink in yet, I'm going to have to take this stencil upstairs and wash it tonight. because this is too big to put in my little tub here. How was you all guys' weather today? Ours was gorgeous. Chilly this morning, foggy and damp. But the afternoon, the sun burnt through the fog, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I had 2 of my granddaughters today, so we stayed busy. My husband was home today, so he and one of the granddaughters did some painting outside, and now I'm just wiping off any extra. You don't want to waste it. Trying to get it all off my stencil here. Now, if this was chalk, I would say to pull the top half, the home part, off, and let it flop back down, because it's taking a while to do, and I would be afraid that the chalk paste would be drying. But when it's ink, you really don't have to do that. It takes much longer than that to dry. So there, I think I have it all worked in well. I like to go a couple of directions just to make sure that I have it the way I need it. Okay, now I have a little bit of paste on my hands. That's one thing, you want to make sure that you get all the paste off your hands before you touch the material, so that you don't transfer it on there. I can't see who it says is watching, but welcome. We're doing a pillow tonight with ink. Now the other color we're going to use is Hunter Green. Now once this pillow is done, I'll remove the stencil, and typically I would take it right in and wash it, but since I have to take it upstairs tonight, I'll finish up my video, and then I'll allow this to dry overnight, and I'll heat press it tomorrow. And when you heat press, you put your iron, if you don't have a heat press, you put your iron at the warmest temperature you can get it for the material that you're using. And make sure you check your material to see how hot it can be. You don't want to be melting your designs. But you set your iron at the hottest temperature that can be. Remove the center board. I don't remove it until after it's dry because I might smudge but remove that center board that we put in. And then put a piece of parchment paper or wax paper in between, so that when you heat set this, it doesn't bleed through to the back. Because if you want this on the back, you don't want it to say it backwards. So I'm just scraping off my extra. Throw that in the water. See, paint on my fingers. Always make sure to check that, because it does transfer. I don't do anything without getting paint on me. I swear all I have to do is walk in my craft room here, and I have paint all over me. I'm checking my fingers, my thumbs, Okay, here we go. So this is a textile. So you start in the corner, work toward the middle, excuse me, so it doesn't stretch, because it will stretch, and if it stretches, you won't get it to lay back down the proper way again. Now see, I don't know if you can see, there are dots on this stencil here, these dots. So that makes it look, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it makes it look rustic. So therefore they showed up in my home. That's not where it's missing ink. That's where it's designed to make it look weathered or whatever you want to call it. Now, if you don't like those, you can always take, and I'll show you on one just so you know what I'm talking about. You can always take a paintbrush. I think it's great to have a paintbrush on hand all the time. Fill in the little spots. You can also hand paint with this. But if you don't like those spots, you just take your paintbrush and fill them right in. It doesn't hurt a thing. In fact, I think I like it better so that it doesn't look distressed. So I'm going to fill mine in. That's all you have to do. Easy peasy. Look at that. I know distressed is the new in thing, but sometimes to me it makes it look like you messed up. And it'll get distressed enough just being in my home, I'll tell you. I have a grandson that absolutely loves pillows. So this will be on the floor and he'll be jumping on it, and which is fine. See, I'm just filling in those spots that were there because they were supposed to be, but I didn't like them. So I'm just going to fix it. That's the great thing about our products. If you don't like something, do it different. There are so many ways to use our products. And I want to make sure I don't lay my hand in it. To use our products in so many different ways and styles to make everything you do unique. And see, I like that much better. So I'm going to go with it that way. Now, what little ones are in the green, that doesn't really matter. But since I did the top, I can't get this camera on. Oh, that's why that didn't go all the way in. Now I have ink everywhere on me. Since I did the top, I'm going to do the bottom just so it matches, but you don't have to. There's only a couple spots on the green. Remember I said, keep your hands clean. Now I've washed that so I can use it with the green. I'm getting ready to put some specials up. So make sure you're part of my VIP group. That's where I post them. I will add a link when this video is set. I will add a link to all of my groups. So you're welcome to join any of those. I have a Mimi's Craft group, which I do a lot of Magnolia stuff in, a lot of creative stuff. But there will be links to all that at the bottom in comments tomorrow. Yeah. I try to come live Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and sometimes on Saturday. It just really depends on what's going on, and with summer weather here, we kind of have people around for Saturdays. But when I can, I can't make any promises, but I do try to come on at least 3 times a week. And there's our pillow. So once this is dry tomorrow, I will heat set it. Like I said, you can heat set it with an iron at the hottest temperature for the material that you chose. 4 minutes on each side. Make sure to put parchment paper, wax paper between it, because we will remove this board. You can't iron it with that board in there. You must remove it, or you'll ruin the whole thing. But put paper between it so it doesn't bleed through the back. And 4 minutes on either side. Make sure you cover the front of it so you don't get it on your iron with another piece of wax paper or parchment paper, or I have a big piece of cotton cloth, like a huge napkin kind of thing. I lay over the front of mine when I heat set it. And heat set it your 4 minutes. Flip it over, do 4 minutes on the other side, and you're good to go. Stuff it, and you have a pretty pillow. It would also make a wonderful gift for someone. Now, you could get fancy if you wanted. You could put some flowers up here in the corners, or a design of some sort. That's totally up to you. You can make it unique any way you want. Well, guys, that's it for me tonight. I got to get upstairs and get this clean before it dries. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye, guys. I run into that every time.